Alright, here we go. Welcome back to another video. We're going to call this Chris Talks. We got Kyram and Brandon on here. We got some topics for y'all today. First off, we're going to start with something simple. Talked about it earlier. You got to hear Brandon speak a few words. Here's a clip just to refresh everybody's memory of some of the things Brandon had to say. Let's pull this up for you. Alright, so we're going to ask my friend Brandon everything, SGA, the plot bullshit stuff. What do you have to say about all that? Alright, that's enough of that. Anyway, that's enough of that. That's enough of that. Anyway, Kyle, let's start with you. What are your thoughts on SGA for MVP?
My fault. Ask the question again.
So what are your thoughts on SGA for MVP?
Free throws, popping. He's on the floor for over half the game. What else? He's a Canadian. He eats ketchup chips. Um, he's a lizard. His second option is a dog wow, and yeah, I think it should have been given to Jokic. This the NBA is fucking controlled by fucking pizza eating fat bitches, and yeah, that's what I have to say.
Ironic he says that, but anyway, it's him. Oh, Brandon, what are your thoughts?
On his point,
Yeah.
well, Kai, he made some good points. Shea does go to the free throw line a lot, but he's not like Steph Curry or LeBron James, who make a living there.
Oh.
They won. He's the leader of a team that won 68 games. In case you don't know, that's seventh best of all time. He's averaged
Blasphemy!
32 and
Blasphemy!
5.
I know you didn't just say LeBron James at
32
the free
and
throw line.
5.
I can't let it slide. I'm sorry.
He's the first player to
I'm
do that
sorry.
in multiple
Can't
seasons since Michael
can't
Jordan and
let it
Wilt
slide.
Chamberlain.
I
So,
gotta have to interrupt you there, Brandon. I'm gonna have to interrupt you there. What do you mean
okay.
LeBron James and Stephen Curry live at the line? And then you're talking about SGA. He's talking about a free throw miss. You're talking about someone who can't shoot the three ball, and then you compare him to the
Well,
goat of the
for your
game.
information, LeBron James and Steph Curry, they've led the league in free throws 3 different times in their career. Shea's only done it once.
So far, say so far. You forgot so far in that sentence.
No,
Shea's only
no,
been the face of the league once. They've been the
no.
face
He'll
of the
make
league their
adjustments and
whole.
he'll get better from it. Like Shea said earlier today, I listened to him talk earlier. He says when the straight line, when it goes like this and this, you stay flat. You don't need to go up and down. When those things happen, he's even kill. He don't let the moment get too big. That's why he is what he is. He's it. He is the it factor. No one else can compare to him. And he's nonchalant. He ain't look for looks. He's got areas on the sideline watching him. He's gonna grow up and be big. And he's got a great supporting cast around him. Dub, Zay, uh, Abraham Lincoln, Chet, I call him.
Speaking
Uh,
of what Brandon's
you
talking
know,
about there, let's pull up that. Let's pull up what SGA had to say. Look, OKC fans are so stupid. Like, dude has his camera side. Like, look, he has it sideways. That's how you just know what you're working with when you're talking to an OKC fan. Dude couldn't even figure out how to get his camera set up the right way. So just know anything he says is probably BS. He probably don't know what he's talking about. Can't set up his camera right. So half the stuff he says, we're not listening to. So, but it's just for the entertainment purposes we have to see what he has to say. So, with that being said, here he is. I unmuted too early. Sorry. Anyway, did you get it pulled up for us?
I sense it.
Yes.
Hold up. Here's what SGA had to say about MVP.
Yes. Every time something doesn't go my way in
Look at
basketball
him, man.
and in life, I guess, I revert back to this book. and it's a karate book that I received from a friend, and the message in the book was basically that success isn't linear. So it's never like just like this. It's always up and down, and you dip 3 to go up 4, and then you'll dip again to go up 6, and before you look at it, you're up 10. So that's how I always once I read that book, that's how I always looked at it. So if we're in a drought, or if we're in a 3-game losing streak, or it was a 17-game losing streak at one point, there's always a light at the end of the tunnel if you do the right things and you trust the work and you stick with it. And I guess we're all seeing that today. Yes.
So we heard that. Now that we heard that, I saw
Complete
something.
and utter blasphemy.
But
You don't know what that word means. Don't use words you don't know what they mean.
kind of remind me of Big.
I know very well what that means, and that is complete and utter blasphemy. I will not stand here and listen to that speech when
You don't know what that means.
So we're
Shut
not gonna
up.
sit here and act like SJ and sit up here and cry about a female.
The one and only Haley Summers.
Hey yo.
Thank you.
Why are you taking a breath like you don't want to talk it, man? You're taking a
Sorry,
breath.
I'm so dramatic. Haley
So
Summers,
dramatic.
thank you for everything you are for me, for our son Aries. You were the first person
Oh, that's
to
his
show
name?
me what love really meant. What love really meant,
Yo.
what sacrifice really meant.
Alright, enough of that. That's enough of that. Anyway, who's taking game 2? Kyle, let's hear from you first.
Ant-Man, game 2. That's all I gotta say.
Whoa. Brandon?
Wolves lose this game, series over. They can pack it up. It's gonna be the same thing. It's gonna happen faster. Thunder gonna win. Thunder gonna win.
Is it going to be a blowout?
Yeah. 20 piece.
So it's on the Thunder's home floor, am I correct?
Yeah. They've only lost one game on their home floor in the playoffs, and it's because of an Aaron Gordon 3.
I say make it 2. I say make it 2. Ant-Man had a quiet game, sold the parlay. 18 points isn't enough from him. He wants to be the face of the league. He wants to take down all these.
You ain't gonna do it like that. Not against the MVP. Nope.
They hold Shada under 5 free throws. Maybe they're still in that game.
Well, that you can blame free throws all you want to. The man got 31. He got to his spots, and you take all his free throws away, they won that game anyway. So
I mean, but the momentum changes though. It's a momentum.
that's
change.
on them.
You still
The
have the
playoffs
game
are
with
momentum
7.
swings.
You still have the game
You
with
gotta
7 free
channel
throws in
that.
the first 5 minutes. It's just how it works.
You can't turn the ball over 19 times either.
You can't. You can't do that. But that won't happen next game. I'll call. It's gonna be 15 turnovers or under.
Okay.
Anyway, who needs to move to the finals more? Who is this series more important for?
The Thunder to make a statement. It's wide open. There's no LeBron. There's no Steph Curry. There's no anybody in the Western Conference that is it right now. Whoever wins this series is going to be the next face of the Western Conference. Golden State's in the past. The Spurs are in the past. The Lakers are in the past. Timberwolves or the Thunder are making a statement.
Go on and move to the next prediction. What is your series prediction? Who takes the series and how many games will it be done in? As of now. We'll ask this again later, but
You talking to me?
I'm asking. I mean, yeah, talking to you.
The Thunder or the Pacers?
Oh, we're talking about the Thunder series still.
Well, again, that depends on how Game 2 goes. If it's going to go one of two ways, if the Wolves win this second game and say we're going to make this a series, then it'll be a series. It'll probably go 7 games. But if not, it ain't going past 5. They might get one more. So I honestly think the Thunder will take it in 5. They are very capable of sweeping them. Very capable. But I think it'll go 5. If the Wolves have, a 30-point game from Reed or we beat ourselves one of the games. Might go 6, but I think we're taking that 5.
Okay, well, what I have to say is, first off, as with the last question, who needs to make it? Who needs it more? When's the last time you see the Timberwolves in the finals?
Not in my lifetime.
That's what I have to say right there. They have a chance to make history for their team. The Thunder's had chances. They had the chance. They blew it. This is their time to make franchise history in our lifetimes. But it's also redemption time for the Thunder to show this is a new team. It's a new system. We're not KD's team. We're not Russ's team. This is the team. You know. So what I think is it's more important that the Thunder make it because they are the 1 seed. They are the 60-win team. They are the team that everybody looks at.
They're the team to beat. They are the team to
this
beat.
series.
They are the team to beat. They are the number 1 team in the NBA. They are the
I
team to
can't
beat.
stand for this no more. The Wolves are gonna beat them next game. There's no debate. The Wolves beat themselves last game. They shot. I gotta bring up the facts, but it was something like 13 for 51 from 3. They beat themselves. They're gonna come back. That was a 1 game thing. I'm sorry. Shea could have that. Shea was boxed the first half. He was boxed. He was in a square.
But when the game mattered, who got it on edge?
The Timberwolves beat themselves though. Is what I'm saying. Next game, that was a 1 game thing. Next game, it's not happening. I'm sorry.
So Kai, who is this series? Who is it more important? Like who needs to win this series more?
History, the Wolves. No. Actually,
What do you mean history?
Wait. Actually, I changed my mind. History, OKC. They've blown this moment multiple times, and I'm sorry if they lose this one. I'm sorry to say it, but their whole franchise is over.
What do you mean? What do you mean they've
No.
blown it before?
Wait, I'm not finished. Let me finish. If the OKC lose this, their whole franchise is over. They might as well become the Wizards because they're not becoming shit. I hate to say it. Mark my words.
Boy, Steve Harvey funny over here, ain't he?
let me just tip into that. They both have 0 rings. Okay, they both have 0 rings in franchise history. They both buns, but the Wolves are a older franchise. Am I right, Brandon?
They might be older than the Supersonics, but they're older than the Thunder. Yeah.
I'm saying older than the Thunder. What I'm saying is that both teams have been around in our lifetime. Both teams have 0 championships, but have the Wolves been there?
But you can't really have that debate because the Warriors have stolen all the glory.
Okay, bro. See, how did you find a way to bring the Warriors into this? You don't even know who freaking Barbosa is. I don't want to.
I just gotta say it.
I would just like to point out the fact they were on a 40-year drought until 2015. They weren't shit since Wilt Chamberlain. Just saying.
Okay, but Kai, who takes this series? What's your prediction? And how many games will it do this season?
Okay? For me, the games thing is irrelevant because the Thunder could be up 3-0, right? The Wolves can still come back, and I stand by that. Shea is not all that. Ant beats that man in 6, I'll say.
I had a question for you. I had a follow-up question for you. Why would Shea not be all that?
Kyron? Let's let him think about that question real fast, and let me just answer mine. The Wolves have never been to an NBA final. The Wolves have been to 0 NBA finals. The Thunder have, and the Thunder blew it. They lost to King James, but that's debatable. That's the best player in basketball history. So, therefore, I think the Thunder have a chance to show that were able to get their team back there. They're not just a team who gets all-stars and can't make it to the finals. So, in my opinion, the Wolves have nothing to lose. They never made a final. They have nothing to lose. The Thunder have something to prove that young teams can win games. Young teams can make it to the finals and not lose to a Jaden McDaniels or whoever they lost to last year, Luka Magic or another young team. But I think the Thunder, I think they take this series in 6. I honestly don't know if the Wolves are capable of winning 2 games. But if I'm being completely honest, after what I saw yesterday in the second half, That was terrible basketball being played. Ant was in a cone. Yes, he hurt his ankle. Yes, he rolled it, but I don't care. He was coned, and so was the rest of the team. We're relying on Rudy Gobert, for God's sakes. Like, the team is chopped. I think that the Thunder take it in 6, honestly. And that might just be the Wolves winning their 2 games at home. Or one game. They win game 2. They win game 3. Or maybe they win game 2. They win game 4. Either way, I think the Thunder take this series in 6. To wrap this up, but Kyle, let's go back to you on that question, Brandon. Just actually, what makes SJ not that guy? What makes him not that player? What makes him not able to close out the series?
Hold up. Let me get the book.
You need a book, but he can't read.
Anyways, so the list.
Alright, dude. Get that thing under control. Anyway, I like dogs, by the way. I'm not.
Okay, ask the question again.
What makes SGA not capable to close out the series, and what makes him not that guy?
He hasn't been there before, for one. Yeah, Brandon, smile, nigga. Smile, nigga. He hasn't
You gotta
been
get there at some point. You gotta start somewhere.
Yeah.
Let Kai speak. Let Kai speak.
He's gonna start by losing to Ant. Ant, he's been there before. We already know the Ant's that guy. He beat the dominating Timberwolves. I mean, not Timberwolves, my fault. The dominating Nuggets last year, right? No one expected that. I'm expecting a repeat.
They're not playing the Denver Nuggets, Kyle.
Did you hear what's coming out your mouth? I'm sorry. Stop it right there. I'm stopping right there.
I feel like I'm talking to Black Skip Bayless.
I
I
can't.
All I'm saying, watch the game. When it happens, it's gonna happen.
Ant hasn't been
Everybody's
there
gonna call me
before.
dumb.
Ant hasn't been there before.
He's been in the conference finals before.
He hasn't been to a final before.
He has. He hasn't won there.
He hasn't won there, but he's got the experience from that one, and he's gonna win this one.
He ain't played a 68-win team like this though.
I
You
don't
seen
care.
how much Shea's dominated Ant since he came
I get what
into the
Kai's
league?
saying, though. I get what he's saying.
He's dominated Ant.
Hear him
This
out.
is how he dominates Ant. Ooh.
Okay, but
That's one game. That's one game. One game.
hear him out, though. Hear him out, though. What he's saying is, Brandon, he's played with the light side right. He's played with 8 games. He's played with 8 games left in the season. He's played with 4 games to move on. Shea hasn't. This is Shea's first time here. Yes, he played good in game 1, but he's saying, can he do that for the whole series? That's what he's saying.
Let me tell you a little truth about the Oklahoma City Thunder. We ain't got time to wait. 12 years ago, we showed up and we went to the finals just like that. And it's the same thing here. Just we're better.
Let me ask you something though. What happened the last time the Thunder were in the conference finals?
Well, they played a team with way more experience than them.
You played
If we got a hold of that team years later, we would have handled business.
But you got 3 wins versus that team. What happened?
Which team?
That team you lost in that conference.
The
final.
Heat?
That team you lost to in that conference.
Oh, Golden State? That's what we're talking about?
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, well.
The Thunder aren't built for the moment, is what I'm saying. The Thunder aren't built for the moment. But I'm not going to contradict myself. I think they still win this series.
What's that I hear? I hear silence.
I'm just saying.
I thought he was talking about the Heat.
What did Reggie do? And Big Mug. Thunder just shy away. So I'm not.
These aren't the Dallas Cowboys.
They're not.
They're not.
We'll get to that in a different. All right. Well, I think that wraps us up. Kyron, how many games are the Wolves taking it in? You said 7.
Wilson 6.
You got them in a 4 out of 5? You crazy?
Yes, nigga.
You want Altoids? Bro.
All right, Wolves are 6. That's gonna wrap this one up. All right, we'll see you in the next one.
Have a good night, everybody.